The Sandy Hook shooting took place 10 years ago, and this month there was a big win for some of the families. Jurors awarded them nearly $1 billion in damages caused by Alex Jones. Our chief political reporter, Susan Raff, sat down with the attorney who led their fight. Susan?
Mark, this case was certainly more than just about spreading lies. Alex Jones's followers harassed these families and threatened them. And the more Alex Jones talked about Sandy Hook, the more followers got involved in the case and the more money he made.
Sandy Hook was horrible. 26 children and educators slaughtered in their school. But for many of these families, their nightmare was just beginning.
And it really is all shocking, you know, that anybody would claim in just the hours after the shooting that it was a hoax or staged.
But that's exactly what Alex Jones did. On his radio show InfoWars, Jones claimed the families were actors and told his followers this was part of a plot to take their rights and guns away. Chris Maddie represented 7 families and an FBI agent to make Jones pay for the suffering he caused.
Threats of murder, desecration of children's graves.
Families were followed and stalked.
Erica Lafferty has moved 5 or 6 times in the last 10 years because these people continually get her address and harass her.
Maddie was able to show the more lies Jones spread about Sandy Hook, his audience grew.
The reason he does that is because the more afraid people can get, the more mistrustful they get of the government, the more resentful they are, the more likely they are to buy his products.
He was also able to prove Jones made a lot of money off of nutritional products and other things sold on his website.
He always knew was false, but he did it because it was generating a lot of audience. It was generating him really millions and millions and millions of dollars in profit.
Jurors awarded the families a record $965 million in compensatory damages. Jones has sought bankruptcy protection for his company and has said these families won't collect any money.
It's very likely that Alex Jones will eventually have to pay out on this verdict.
Whether it's part of his income or assets.
Either way, Alex Jones is going to be having this verdict hang over his head for as long as it takes for him to pay it.
Maddie has had important victories. He was the lead prosecutor for the government against former Governor John Rowland, who went to prison. This trial, however, was an emotional one.
My relationship with the families that we represent has changed me for sure.
Money won't erase the suffering, but the hope is the verdict will be meaningful.
It was very, very important to the families that the jury's verdict send a signal to other people who are engaged in corrupt business practices based on lies, to know that it will no longer be profitable for them to.
And for these families, it is not quite yet over. There's a punitive phase. Connecticut has what's called an Unfair Trade Practices Act, which allows damages where an individual or business engages in a practice which is considered reprehensible and harmful. A judge will decide how much more these families should receive. Susan Raff, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Susan,